I am Chris Zero, the owner of DRW, the 81-time world champion. And I want to take this time to speak to each and every one of you, the listeners of DRW, the lovers of DRW, and the men and women on the DRW roster. There have been some times in DRW where it was not so cool to be a DRW superstar, but I'm here tonight to explain to you why DRW was created, why I started this. You know, some people don't believe me when I say I love this business. It was late 2011 I broke onto the WRP scene. Not the EFED scene, the WRP scene. When I stepped foot into WWF Attitude for the very first time, I saw nothing but disrespectful douchebags making jobbers out of future legends of this business. I stayed in WWF Attitude for 30 days. At the end of that 30 days, I went and I found what became EFED. Well, I found what EFED was. I didn't know what EFED was. I didn't get referred to it by a friend. I actually saw a friend of mine in a group called TNA Impact. And those who know me know I am a huge TNA fan, along with WWE, WCW, ECW, PWG, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and so on and so forth. Some people know, and I mean very few people know, the struggle I went through when I first started EFED. My name was Chris Crippler. I took the name from Chris Benoit, and I took the rep of James Storm, and I took the attitude of Samoa Joe, and I made it somewhat iconic, and I got over. I became a TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Then I went on to EGW, where I would put Chris Crippler to rest. And meanwhile, at this time, I didn't know what I was going to do in EGW. So then I joined a second EFED while I watched EGW go down. While I watched everything happen in EGW, I joined WWF World Wrestling Federation EFED. And thus, I gave birth to the iconic figure, a future 81-time world champion, Chris Zero, who was a part of me. I gave him my attitude. I gave him the attitude of Kevin Steen. I gave him the attitude of The Rock, of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And in WWF World Wrestling Federation EFED, I became a 3-time WWF champion, and then I owned the company. The company died out because I didn't know what I was doing as an owner. Thus, here we are now, early 2012. And I join CRW. I don't do anything for 10 months. October 5th, 2012, the day that I turned 14, I made my debut in CRW. I debuted in CRW against Brodus Clay. And thus, Chris Zero really did take off, and he got over with the CRW crowd, and I became a CRW World Champion. Then I became the first ever CRW television champion, and I had great matches against JM Punk, Tyler H, and it was those two men, along with Firestar Hart and the Devastator, who put Chris Zero on the map. And in CRW, I met two people who would become very close to my heart for the next 3 years. Firestar Hart and DMG. Now, along the way, I picked up friends like GVD, Tyler H, Ken Gatlin, Michael Eaton. But along that way, along my time in CRW, I was a part of great events like Ring of Honor, like CZW, like ECW Reborn. And in those feds, I met greats like Steven Spradlin, Billy Wayne Grant, Alexander Brooks. Me and CRW had a fallout in the War with Attitude, the infamous War with Attitude. And on July 27th, 2013, I gave birth to CRW, or not CRW, I gave birth to DRW. July 27th, I set the very first pay-per-view card. Destination War. The main event for the undisputed title, Austin Uaz, GVD, DMG, and Tyler H. And on that night, the Call legend, Austin Uaz, who I undoubtedly respect, won the undisputed title and will forever be in DRW history as a legend. I stand here a year and a half later, and I look at each and every one of those men in the back, and the feeling that I had when DRW first started is no longer there. When DRW first started, we had hungry individuals looking to make an impact that places like Attitude and CRW could not and would not give them. Now, I'm not going to stand here and say that CRW is a terrible place, because it's not. It's a terrific place. It gave birth to legends. But Attitude is a terrible place. A year and a half, I've seen the best come, and I've seen the best go. And the fact that there are so many disrespectful kids these days acting like they deserve to be at the top is what pisses me off. Yes, I run my own company, and at my own company, I've been at the top. I didn't make my own company to sit at the top. I made my own company so that way there would be a future for EFED. You think I want to do this forever? I do, but I do not want to be a wrestler forever in this business. Disrespectful brats are the death of EFED. And the fact that Mark Jacobs says that Chris Zero needs to pass the torch, you are absolutely correct. You see, I may not be correct when I say this, but I feel as if the torch was passed to me from DMG. So I need to pick another icon in my mind who's going to carry that torch as well as I have carried it. And I want them to cement their legacy. And I have came up with 3 individuals who I feel could be that guy. And March 1st, 2015, I want it to either be Tyler H., Mark Jacobs, or Torrance Banks. I feel as if every single one of those men lay claim to the top of DRW. And to do that, to be the man Woo! You gotta beat the man. And I'm the man right now. I am the tippy top of the mountain. I am the infamous king of the mountain. I am the top of this business. I am the icon Chris Zero. And at the top of this world, you gotta realize a few things. It is very hard to get here, and it's even harder staying at the top. So Torrance Banks, Tyler H. Mark Jacobs, if you think that I need to pass the torch, you need to shut your mouths and prove that I need to pass the torch. Because if you think March 1st, 2015, I'm going into Reed Arena in College Station, Texas to lay down, you are sadly mistaken. And that's all I got to say about that.